Going live. What is up, everybody? How are y'all doing today? Happy Sunday. Happy first day of NFL football. I'm here with my guy, Ferris Muthana, who was earlier covering the Giants, doing play-by-play, which I got to watch a little of, and it was awesome. Great job, but we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Let's get it started. We're going to talk some football. Let's get it going.
Image, your beats are so fire.
We can compete with. We can beat. I feel we can beat the Browns. We can compete with Baltimore if they have Lamar, and we're right there with the Bengals.
That young man put his life on the line for you, for your entertainment.
We were talking all before the game. You know, everyone's like, "Nah, Ravens don't have a shot," and they're right there. What is going on, everybody? How are you doing today? Happy Sunday. Happy first day of football being back. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I know some people aren't having a great Sunday, especially one of my co-hosts who isn't here. I know he's not having a good Sunday, but it's okay. It's football season. It's back, and we should all be celebrating. I am joined by the one and only Mr. Ferris Muthana. How you doing this Sunday afternoon, Ferris?
No, not everyone should be celebrating because it's been a bad Sunday. All right, very
For
bad
some
Sunday.
people.
For some people, it's been a horrible Sunday. Some people, it was a horrible Thursday. Like your other co-host. But yeah, it's not a very good Sunday. I don't understand why I love this game. It doesn't love me back.
It does not love you back.
No,
I get that. I understand. Sometimes it doesn't love us, but sometimes if you love it so much, you got to let it go and for it to come back to you.
yeah.
So I think that's what we take away from this. But we'll talk about it some more. Shout out to Mr. The Rogue Pod. How you doing today, sir? I asked him. I said, "Are you going to come on?" He said, "No, not after Thursday's game. I am a little upset. You know, a little toe tied. So he didn't want to come on camera today, but he should be back this week. Hopefully, get to see him talking some more Ravens and more football. Shout out to one of the best content creators out there, Ravens Talk with Yolanda. How you doing today? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Happy Sunday. Getting to watch some football and relaxing. Living Legends in the house. What's going on, Living Legend? Hope you're doing well. Ferris, I got you beat by a long shot. I mean,
We're comparing dog shit to horse shit, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Really, you know, like you got blew out by the Saints, I got blew out by the Vikings. It's fine, it's whatever. How you doing, Yolanda?
saying hi to Mr. Ferris. There's Rodney. Rodney's going through it today. He just says, you know what? No camera work today. I would appreciate it if you jumped on, but it's okay. It's okay. But let's get into it. Welcome everybody. Steelers beat the Falcons 18-10, and as you were just saying right now, Ferris, you can polish a turd all you want. It's still going to be a turd.
Exactly.
I'm not too excited about this win, but I saw a lot of good things personally for me. Very bothered by the refs. I know Jose was making comments in the Discord saying, "Oh, why are you crying about the refs?" I don't know if you saw the play, but there was a PI called on George Pickens. A lot of people say George Pickens pushes off all the time, but they called a PI on him, which just stopped a good drive for us and took us out of scoring position. And then Falcons turn around, throw a touchdown to take the lead. But at the end of that half, Steelers were able to drive. Justin Fields was able to drive with 1 second left as Pickens made a cut and thank God stepped out of bounds. We were able to kick a field goal going into the half, only down one. I don't know how much of this game you were able to catch because I know
I
you were busy
yeah,
calling
yeah.
the Giants.
Couldn't catch it.
But
Couldn't catch the
couldn't
game.
catch it.
Unfortunately,
No,
couldn't
totally
catch it.
understand. But if I gave you these numbers, Justin Fields 17 for 23, 156 yards. Najee Harris 20 carries, 70 yards. George Pickens for 6 receptions, 85 yards. Um, you would think to yourself, man, how does the Steelers win this game? Well, I can tell you, it was on the back of the defense. Defense was able to get 2 picks. Should have had a third pick on the $1 million man, Kirk Cousins, Brodney's favorite player. Also had 2 fumble recoveries, one which was called back for, I think, hands to the face on the defense. But Kirk Cousins went out there and did Kirk Cousins things. Ferris, I know you love you some Kirk Cousins. Did Atlanta all through the broadcast, all they could talk about is how they paid Kirk Cousins and they got a real quarterback in there, and then he does this. Do you think Atlanta made a mistake picking up Kirk Cousins?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm sick and tired. Suge. When you're on Twitter and someone says, "You don't know how to run a team. You're a fan. You don't know how to run a team. You don't know what decisions they're making." Just say, "I can run a team." You know why I can run a team? Because these people who get hired to run these teams keep giving Kirk Cousins money. Don't tell me I can't run an NFL franchise when I know for a fact that I got NFL GMs who have years of experience in football. The experience, they have experience, Ferris. They've been scouts and assistant GMs. But why the hell, if y'all are so good at your jobs, y'all keep getting tricked by Kirk Cousins? This is the third team. The only team that knew what Kirk Cousins was, Suge. The only team that knew what Kirk Cousins was the Washington Commanders. They knew what he was. That's why every year they put him on the franchise tag. They never gave him a long-term deal. They were never going to give him a long-term deal because they knew this guy ain't good. And guess who got? Minnesota got fully guaranteed deal, by the way, $84 million fully guaranteed. And then Atlanta just got. Don't tell me I can't run an NFL franchise if people like them are making these types of decisions. He's never been good, ever. We have proof of it. He's a below average quarterback. A below average quarterback his entire career. He was so bad that Daniel Jones outplayed him most of the time his entire career when they were up against each other. That says something, right? That says something. Because he's bad too. They're both bad. I know what bad QB play is. I've witnessed it for the past 7 years. I know what a bad quarterback looks like. Kirk Cousins is not a good quarterback. He has his moments. He has that one game but here's the thing too. It's always that one game in like the 10 o'clock window, Suge, that nobody's watching. That their eyes are not on him. He has like 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. He has like 70% completion. Everyone's like, see, Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback. You put his ass on Sunday night, he goes 12 for 30 with 128 yards and 2 interceptions.
Wow, yeah, you got his stat line right. 16 for 26, 155 yards, 1 TD, two interceptions.
In the 10 o'clock window, by the way, not even the primetime window. This is the 10 o'clock window that he still sucked. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's not good. He's not good at all. But here's the thing. The reason he's my favorite player is because he keeps duping these people. This man is an elite finesser. You want to talk about finessing people of millions upon millions of dollars. Kirk Cousins, top tier finesser, period. Sports, regular life, because the man stinks and he keeps getting $100 million contracts. He's gotten 2, Suge. He's gotten 2 of them, plus the $40 million he kept getting from Washington every year they franchise tagged him, right? The first franchise tag was 35. The second one was 40. The third one was 42. And if the fourth one would have been 50. And then Washington was like, nah, we ain't doing 50. You ain't that good. You know what I mean? So they let him walk. And then he goes to Minnesota. That's what happens. Why do you think they still drafted a quarterback?
Yeah, yeah, and they're already calling for Penix already.
Exactly.
They're already calling pro. One of the things on the broadcast, and again, they kept bringing it up on the broadcast and how they got Kirk Cousins, and now they think the Falcons are contenders. Was his offensive line, and just how good this offensive line is. And let me tell you, T.J. Watt and Highsmith tore that offensive line up. The pressure that that T.J. Watt kept getting on Kirk Cousins, not only Kirk Cousins, B.J. Robinson. B.J. Robinson only has 68 yards. He averaged 3.8 yards a carry. Bijan, sorry. He didn't do much. He couldn't get out. I think he had maybe 2 runs that were over 10 yards, but that was it. This line shut down that running game. Atlanta has, Pitts. They have London. They brought in Moody. I mean, their best receiver was McLeod, Ray McLeod, who had 52 yards. But even then,
That's
the
not good,
secondary, that's not good.
That's not good. When Ray McLeod is your best receiver yardage wise, that's not good. That's not good. When you have a first round pick in Drake London, you draft him. Drake London was the first wide receiver drafted off the board ahead of Garrett Wilson, ahead of Chris Olave. He was the first wide receiver picked at 8. So when he is not your leading receiver, that's a problem. That's a problem because leading receivers make sure that they're the number 1 guys. Also, too, Suge, this is a very good offensive line. They're not going to face defensive linemen like T.J. Watt every week. All right, that's not happening, right? We can talk smack about T.J. Watt all the time and how he ended Cam Newton's career and he's a dirty bastard. We can talk about that all the time. So, but as a football player, he's a tremendous football player. All right, he's a tremendous football player.
I love the way you do. I love the way you describe him, though.
Yeah. But in the NFC South, there isn't T.J. Watts roaming around. The worst, the hardest defensive lineman that they can face is probably Cam Jordan in New Orleans. Shaq Barrett retired, so he's not in Tampa Bay anymore. Carolina, they lost Brian Burns. They don't have nobody on the defensive line to wreak havoc. So they'll be solid in the divisional play and in sometimes certain conference play because TJ Watt isn't on everybody's team. You know what I mean? It's just he's an anomaly. And him being there freed up Alonzo Highsmith. That's what the benefit like is Alonzo Highsmith a great defensive end? Alex Highsmith, my bad. Alonzo Highsmith is a former running back at the University of Miami. Go you, by the way. They're back. My bad. Sorry. So Alex Highsmith, is he a great defensive end? Is he a good defensive end? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know fully. But TJ Watt alleviates all the pressure off of him because the line shifts to him. So Highsmith gets one-on-ones. He just needs to beat his man. One-on, what I mean? And that's what was going on all night. Because, Jake Matthews is getting up in age. You know what I mean? They have Caleb McGarry on the other side. McGarry's a good tackle, but the problem is, you're going against TJ Watt. You know what I mean? Top 5 tackles struggle with TJ Watt. So, middle of the pack tackles are definitely going to struggle with TJ Watt. You know what I mean? So it's just common occurrence, man.
Yeah. Just watching that, they really struggled. His speed, he was just getting off the line. They called a offsides on him, which go back and look. I'll have to bring it up on Tuesday. Looked very close. He looked like he got off right when the ball got off, and it would have been a strip sack. I think he's just going out for blood this year. He felt like he got robbed last year for Defensive Player of the Year, and I know people will argue that he wasn't, but he's playing on a mission. So real quick, let's shout out some people in the chat. D Weezy out there, what's going on? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Again, living legend. Pay the bills. How did PQ play? Didn't watch the game. PQ played okay. Didn't do anything spectacular, but he didn't need to. He just needed to make tackles. I maybe saw one tackle that he kind of whiffed on, but other than that, he was in pursuit. He was there. He made tackles. I think he covered a little bit, and he didn't get the ball really thrown at him. But I can tell you he's probably really, really surprised of how good Watt gets to the quarterback because Watt was on Cousins. Like, what was that saying from Major Payne? He was
White
he
on
was on
rice.
him like white on rice on a paper plate in a snowstorm. That's what White was on. Or TJ Watt was on Kirk Cousins today. He was like all over him. Shout out to Jared. What's going on, Jared? Hope you have a wonderful day.
Le- Legitimately
Uh,
white on rice.
yeah, really was. Should
Yeah.
you shouldn't have chose the Giants wins this week, man. Did I choose? Oh, I did choose the Giants to win. Well, that screwed me. What up, Big Reg? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Uh, just try to stay clear of the rampage Canadian gunplay beat. Shout out to Peter Mills. He's
Yeah,
out there.
man, that was my favorite thing. We was talking like, oh yeah, look at the gunplay. And we're like, yeah, how many murders? 45. 45?
Yo, but-
Only 45? What?
Yo, what's up, Ziku Kage? How did BQ play? Yeah, BQ. I felt like PQ played pretty good. Again,
Shug,
wasn't
Shug,
really
PQ, not DQ.
PQ.
Okay.
Did I say DQ? I'm sorry. I want an ice cream right now.
I know
I
you're
am
hungry. I know
I am
you're hungry. Okay.
I know. I want a blizzard. Okay, that's what I want.
Yeah.
It's hot in California right now.
I've never had
PQ
one. I've never had a blizzard. I've
Really?
never been to Dairy Queen. I've never been to Dairy Queen.
underrated. It's very underrated. Their ice cream's good. I'm gonna tell you what's underrated. Their hamburgers are really
Hamburgers?
actually pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
they have hamburgers. They're pretty good.
You been to Sonic? You been to Sonic?
Sonic's right down the street from my house. Not a big fan.
Oh well, I've only had it a couple times and I've quite enjoyed it. I like the tater tots.
Tater tots are good. The pretzels are
Yeah.
good. I like the pretzels.
Some of their ice cream like ice cream like stuff. Yeah, some of that is good. Some of that is good.
Their
Yeah.
teas. I like their teas. Mix
Yeah,
it with
yeah,
lime
yeah.
and cherry.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
good. We'll talk more food later.
yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. Literally legend. I've never had Dairy Queen. It's actually pretty good. PQ, not DQ. PQ. I felt he played within himself. You know, again, didn't really make any mistakes. I saw one whiff tackle where Robinson got out to the outside and PQ just kind of missed him. But it was cleaned up by another linebacker in corner. So it didn't look too bad. But I do think that he needs to clean that up. But nothing too crazy from him. Robinson, not Robinson, Jackson, who we traded from the Panthers, had himself a day. First, he missed a clear cut interception.
Jackson?
Hit him Dante Jackson, clear cut interception to his face. Missed it. Don't know how he missed it. Really covered Pitts well, and then because I think Joey Porter Jr. kind of got hurt. And I don't know if he ever came back because I don't remember seeing him. But then he got an interception on Kirk Cousins, and was just a good play. I mean, that interception could have gone to two different people, but really made a play, was able to get the ball, and I loved it. Love what we saw from him. He played well, better than any corners we had before. So that Deontay Johnson trade is not looking too bad right now.
Yeah, the way Carolina played. I can't really talk because I'm a Giants fan, but
yeah.
pretty bad.
I'll say from this game, what really bothered me again was the refs, and I know people are going to say, "Oh, why are you crying about the refs?" There was just a lot of weird calls that they made. You want to talk about KC and the Ravens and calling that
Illegal formation.
Illegal formation. They called a push off on Pickens, which I didn't feel was a push off. They called the TJ Watt being offsides when he got off right when the ball was snapped. There's just a few things I didn't like about this. Obviously, our kicker, he got work in. Even our punter got hurt, so he had to punt the ball. So Boswell got, he went 6 for 6 with a long of 57. So shout out to him if you put him over a few more than 2 or 3 field goals. He was able to deliver. I think moving forward with the Steelers, we got to get touchdowns. We were on the 3 Ferris on a 4th and 1, and they went to sneak it with Fields, but kind of went to go quick and
fumble.
Falcons linebacker he made a good play. You could say he was maybe offsides, but they had tried a 4th and 1 earlier and were able to get it a few times. So I didn't feel bad about the call, but I think the execution was just not on par. and that's just Fields getting a chance. It's his first game, being in a new team, new system, and he just kind of messed up. I know a lot of people on Twitter right now going after Mike Tomlin. Why would you not kick it? Like, he never wins, Ferris. You're up. I want to say 5 points. You're 4th and 1 on the 5-yard line. Like, if you get that first down, you're most likely to get a touchdown. But you could have handed to Najee Harris, because Najee Harris, even though he ran for, I believe, 70 yards, I believe he did. 70 yards. He was averaging 3.5 a carry. Couldn't really get anything, Justin Fields ran for 57, but he got a couple of quarterback sneaks, and were able to get him, very easily. So I know why they did that. And I was okay with Tomlin going for it. Your defense is playing great. You've had takeaways. Why not go for it? What's the problem? And people are on Twitter screaming, "Oh my God, why would you go for that? You're supposed to kick the field goal." He's just trying to win the game. If they get a touchdown there, the way your defense is playing, and even then, the way your defense is playing at that point,
you could probably just only give up a field goal.
Yeah. And Falcons, and what did they do? Defense turns around and gets an interception. And so I was okay with it, and Warren was playing, but Warren didn't look right. He wasn't really doing well. He only ran for 7 yards. So, it's a new offense. Arthur Smith, was, now people are going to complain about him. Someone asked, what would you give him as a grade? I said a C. I was okay with it.
Look, he's not a very good offensive coordinator. He's not a very good head coach. He's not a very good coach. People, I don't know why you hired him. I don't understand. There were better people on the market.
God, you would have to ask Coach Tomlin. I don't know.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Does he I don't get him. Like, is it like Steelers fans don't like him, but like the only people that really matter is that the ownership likes him. And the way the Roonies of this what's weird about Steelers fans. Like, apparently, like, they don't know the way their team operates for some odd reason. You guys don't fire head coaches ever. Like, when's the last time you fired a head coach?
Never.
Exactly.
We've had 3 coaches.
Exactly, Suge. Never. Since the Roonies took over, you've never, ever, ever, ever fired a head coach. You went from Chuck Noll to Bill Cowher to
your favorite coach.
Don't get me started, okay? Don't get me started, right? Like, literally, I don't understand. Like, people were like, there was 1 year y'all wanted him fired, and I was like, y'all know y'all root for the Steelers, right? Y'all root for the Steelers. They don't fire coaches ever. They actually give coaches time. They give them time to build their team. Because because they saw it with Chuck Noll. Early on with Chuck Noll, Suge, the Steelers were the worst team in the NFL. Period. They were horrible. They had 1 year they had a great draft. They drafted Lynn Swann, John Stallworth. Then the next year they draft Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, Mean Joe Green, and you're like, and then guess what happened? The Steel Curtain gets born. Boom. And then y'all are a legend.
And then you get Terry Bradshaw at the quarterback.
Terry Bradshaw.
You win Super Bowls, yeah.
Exactly. So is it his fault that the GMs and the ownership haven't given him another Ben Roethlisberger? Yeah, it is. Because Ben Roethlisberger, probably the second best quarterback of his generation. Well, third, because you have Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
Well, even from that draft class, you could say he's one. I would consider him one. I would consider him one in that draft class. But Phillip Rivers is a great player. Eli Manning, you look at Eli Manning's numbers, but then when he got to the playoffs, he performed. Eli Manning didn't. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger didn't really perform well in the playoffs. Yeah, he had some good games, but he just didn't perform.
Yeah. Basically, and then you guys stole that Super Bowl against Seattle. So there's that. And then y'all had to Larry Fitzgerald scored too fast against Arizona. They gave him too much time. But it happens. Y'all did lose to Green Bay. There's that. But it's whatever. But yeah, you could say he's one or two. You could say Eli Manning or him. But yeah, man, now you're giving him Justin Fields and in Russell Wilson at your quarterback position. Y'all drafted him, Kenny Pickett, and you're like, what? There's one year he was winning games with Duck Hodges, a man named Duck Hodges, and he was winning games.
I truly believe the Kenny pick was not his pick. I truly believe that that they went to Tom and were like, "Yo, we're gonna draft this kid because the last time we didn't draft a pick kid, it was Dan Marino, and we screwed up. So we're gonna draft him." And then they realized, "Yo, never mind, it was a bad pick." And I like Russell Wilson. I like that pickup. I like Justin Fields because I think he's gonna pan out. He looked okay today. He didn't look bad. Now the good thing and the bad thing is when he sees an elite defense, I don't know if you want to call the Ravens elite defense, it's not until the second half. So he has time to kind of progress during the year. Yeah, yes. To build to that. But
the problem here, Suge, is do you trust that offensive staff develop him? He goes from being with Matt Nagy. I think it was with Matt Nagy. Was it with Matt Nagy?
Yeah, they were talking about that. Yeah, Matt
Nagy. So
it
was with Matt Nagy. Then it was Matt Eberflus.
Yeah.
And now it's with Arthur Smith. Like I told with it is there's been times where teams and organizations ruin quarterback prospects more than they actually make quarterback prospects. You know what I mean? Because let's not act like he wasn't some high touted prospect of clay of greatness coming out of high school and college. That right team, right organization, perfect build. But he was drafted to Chicago. They gave him nothing. They taught him nothing. And now he's with Arthur Smith, who's literally the embodiment of a football terrorist.
Harrison's going all in today. All in.
My team sucks. I don't care. You know what? It is this, I'm trying to warn other people not to get their hopes up. Okay. You know what I mean? Has Mike Tomlin been outcoached by certain coaches? Yes, by a specific coach. His name was Bill Belichick. But Bill Belichick outcoaches everybody. You know what I mean? There's the occasional time you get him like Gary Kubiak did the year Gary Kubiak won the Super Bowl, or John Harbaugh did that one year. But overall, Mike Tomlin didn't lose to no one not named Bill Belichick. There was that year against Jacksonville. That was pretty bad.
I don't know what it is. Jacksonville, for some reason, Tomlin couldn't figure out. Ever.
I don't know. Every year, if people be like, is Blake Bortles actually a good quarterback? Nah, he was just against Pittsburgh. I mean,
this is true that year.
Yeah, this is true. But he's a great coach. Let's just say the Pittsburgh actually fires him for the first time ever. They fire a coach. He'll get snapped up like that.
Yeah. You don't think half the team? You don't even think half the teams in our division would want him?
Bam! Give me that.
They would take Tomlin in a second. I think for Fields, from what I saw today, I was happy with because they started to open up the playbook and he was able to execute. Now he's got to get rid of the ball. He can't take sacks. Most of his throws weren't in danger. I don't know if that maybe the Falcons weren't really a good defensive team, but he didn't make any throws that you were like, oh my God. Oh my God. Now he made some good throws, obviously, to George. He was throwing to the tight ends. I think the problem we see with this offense is Harris right now. He can't run the ball. I don't know if it's a him thing. I don't know if it's an injury. Is our offensive line that bad? He can't run the ball. He gets out in space and all of a sudden he falls or he just gets tripped up or he can't hit the hole. There was even a play where they brought up Le'Veon Bell and how he kind of let the blocks develop and he still got tackled. Got a hole, and as soon as he went through it, got tackled. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going on with him, but that has to get better in order to give Fields time to throw the ball downfield because they threw the ball downfield a few times and they were able to connect. I think they need to go a little bit more to the tight ends. You got some good tight ends in Washington and Freiermuth, which are going to be key for him, especially with the bootlegs and play actions. But I think the big problem is running the ball. Even though Harris had 70 yards, he ran the ball 20 times.
Mhm.
If you're running the ball 20 times, you got to get 100.
Yeah.
You got to get 100.
Yeah.
You can't go for 70 yards. Now, again, Boswell hit on field goals, and which is great, but those got to be touchdowns. So you got to be and Living Legend asks Suge, who you with, Fields or Russ? I'm with whoever's going to win us games. To be honest with you, again, I saw some good things from Fields. I think if Russ is in there, the playbook looks a little different. But I saw some good things
No,
with
it
Fields, but I also saw some bad things. He's holding onto the ball too long. When he does try to escape out of a pocket, he's just throw the ball away. He took way too many sacks, and he got hit a few times. I didn't like that. I didn't like the way he got hit. So I was a little annoyed by that. But we're going to be talking about that more on Tuesday with the actual Still Conspiracy. Ferris, let's get some scores from around the league. Just get your reaction. So Saints pounce on the Panthers 47-10. I know if you were watching Lunch Break Hot Take and Bronny, they were just talking about it. Is Bryce Young just not good?
Maybe. It's also the 50th anniversary of the Superdome, so there's some motivation on that aspect. At least somebody was playing good on an anniversary day, unlike the other team celebrating their 100th season. Yeah, it could be that he's not very good, really, because that would be kind of disappointing for me because I've always been a big fan of Bryce Young, actually. Yeah, but it's not looking good because his counterpart, Suge, made the playoffs in his first year, right? And
Yep.
people talk about Houston. Houston was worse than Carolina the year they drafted Bryce Young because Carolina had to trade up to 1. Houston was already 2. They didn't have to trade up. So the team that was worse than you drafted a quarterback that you deemed second best because you wanted Bryce Young, even though I heard your head coach wanted CJ, but you drafted Bryce, and a lot of people were saying there isn't that much a difference between them. When your counterpart is making it to the playoffs, winning Rookie of the Year, people think that Houston may be a legitimate contender. While you're struggling in year 2, it's not looking good.
Was Richardson drafted in the same draft class?
Richardson was also drafted in the same draft class, and Richardson played well this first game.
Okay.
The problem with Richardson last year was he got injured. So not a lot of people saw what he could do because they shut him down. But he played very well today. He had a 60-yard touchdown, just slung it down. Let me double check this for him because he played a bit well and against Houston. It was a close game. Houston only won by 2.
Yeah,
Houston only
it
won
was
by
it was a
2.
very, very, very close game.
Yeah,
Very
but
close game.
Richardson was 9 for 19 with 212. So it was a little it was a little iffy. He did contribute 6 carries, 56 yards, and a touchdown. But Derek was right. We've only seen 5 games of Anthony Richardson. Just 5. He was injured. This is his 5th game. Suge, he has less than post high school, from college to now. He has less than 30 starts as a quarterback. Less than 30.
That's crazy.
Anthony Richardson.
That's crazy.
Exactly, because he started that 1 year at Florida. He sat behind Emory Jones, but then he started that 1 year. And then he only started 4 games in last year. It's like under 30 starts overall. He has all the physical tools. Anthony Richardson does physically. Out of all 3 of them, he's the freak. 6'5", runs like a locomotive, can 0 to 60 in like less than a second. You know what I mean? He's fast.
Can he jump? Can he jump a tower? Can you jump over a tower?
He can leap and bound of a tower. But
Leap him down. There you go. You know what I was talking about.
But CJ's the better quarterback out of the 3. You know what I mean? And a lot of like So it could be Bryce may not be that good. Maybe, which is horrible to see because both of them are Southern California kids. Both of them are in a pipeline of quarterbacks. CJ went to Rancho Cucamonga High School. No, he's from Rancho Cucamonga. I don't know what high school he went to. Um, um, Bryce went from Suge. I think you may know this because you're a Southern California guy. Modern Day played in the
Okay.
Bryce Young played in the Trinity League against St. John Bosco. You know what I mean? So that league is very
CJ
tough.
Shaw did go to Rancho Cucamonga,
High
which
school?
is down at right down the freeway from me.
Exactly. So he went
So
to so like that Southern California man, it just breeds quarterbacks. And Bryce Young, man, it's looking not looking good. It's not looking good, man. Could could
that
this
sucks.
yeah, it's not, yeah. But also too, like if you think about it, the weapons, Jonathan Mingo, Dante Johnson, Tommy Tremble. Like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, what
Yeah.
is that really? Like their
Not
best
enough.
their best player, Suge, is a guard. Their best player is a guard. His name is Robert Hunt, the guy they paid $20 million for. That's their best offensive player. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You do have reinforcements coming. See, Tommy didn't even play. He didn't even play. Jonathan Brooks, the running back out of Texas who tore his ACL, is gonna come in 4 weeks because he's on IR, so he's designated out for 4 weeks. So in the second half of the season, he'll show up, but it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for him.
Massage Watson looking like a scrub. Let me tell you something, and we'll get into another score right here, which is the Patriots and Bengals. I have said from the beginning, I don't think the Browns and the Bengals are that good. I just don't think so. I think they have weapons, but they're not that good. But we will see. You know that I mean you're not that guy. You're not that guy, and you're
You're not
getting
that
blown
guy.
out by the. You're getting blown out by the Cowboys. No
Well, the
wonder Caleb.
Cowboys are
Where's
no,
Caleb?
he's probably
Caleb's happy.
he's watching the game with his pops drunk, probably.
drinking Miller Lights.
Yes, absolutely. But here's the thing: the Cowboys are a good team. That's the thing people talk about. Like they're a good team. Yeah,
I
Cleveland.
thought Cleveland had this oh my god defense that's going to shut everybody down.
Yeah, but the third problem is, oh my god, defenses don't really operate good when your offense can't stay on the field for long periods of time. So you can have a great defense all you.
Why'd you pay Watson?
Well, that's the problem, right? Here's the thing. People say, "Oh my god, what a horrible deal that was." Everyone said Deshaun Watson was the second best quarterback at that moment. The only person better than him was Patrick Mahomes. Like revisionist history.
Yeah.
Because it's the Cleveland Browns and it's the Browns, right? They brown. At the moment, nobody knew about the massages and him being a straight up weirdo creep. You know what I mean? No, you know what I mean? Nobody knew about, like, at that moment, he was the second best quarterback in the league behind Patrick Mahomes. At one moment, he almost beat Patrick Mahomes. He was up 24-7 on him in a playoff game, and he blew the lead. Either it's his fault, the head coach's fault, or the defense. I don't know what happened. So people were like, "Yo, look at this." Cleveland's so dumb, but everyone would have made that deal.
Yeah.
Now it's, how did they make that deal?
It's hindsight. It's hindsight.
Hindsight's
Hindsight 2020.
Yeah,
exactly.
And what's horrible is Cleveland makes a good deal and it backfires on them. The most Cleveland thing ever. The most Cleveland thing ever. It backfires on them. And you want to know how, Suge, you know how at LBHT we talk about how the cap ain't real. Cap ain't real. They fully guaranteed his deal, and they still were able to make moves to get better. Cleveland was. They still played. They knew. We didn't know. They knew. We didn't know. They thought it was going to stay hidden for years. We didn't know. No fan knew. No fan knew. But they knew.
Somebody knew. But if I was the Browns,
Houston.
I would have been like, yo, when you were slinging it and you were making just play after play, what what was working for you so we can replicate that? Do we
Yeah.
need to put a massage parlor in the stadium?
Chuck, no.
And real quick,
Suge, no.
Ferris, real quick.
You didn't know?
'Cause
What are you talking about, Tony? You didn't know? Nobody knew when he was in Houston. Nobody knew. Now everybody knew. Nobody knew. Get out of here, man. Fans didn't know. Get out of here, bro. Especially fans in Baltimore. What the hell you know what's going on in Houston?
They don't even know what's going on in Baltimore.
Especially you. You don't leave the house. You're a hermit.
Real quick, Ferris, our favorite sport right now. Score for Atlanta versus Indiana is tied up, and they're going into OT.
Yeah, they're going to OT. Yeah,
they were down by a lot.
Oh, now everybody knew what he was accused of. Everybody didn't know. Everybody knew.
I wish I had the clip from the other night from OT to play.
But
here come the
no, man. Nah, bro.
Shout out to LVHT.
Crazy for that.
Ferris is a suit. She got to do right. No, I don't got to do right. My hair's a mess right now, Davon. So I didn't want to comb it. So it's just a hat. Just a hat. It's a hat. That's all it is. I didn't want to brush my hair right now. It's all messed up. Oh my god! Now I just got to fix myself. But
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Cleveland's not looking good. The Bengals 16-10 losing to the Patriots. I don't want to say that the Patriots are like a horrible team because obviously, they got the prestige, but
no, they're a bad team.
They're not a good team. Like if you're the Bengals and you're a Super Bowl contender, you shouldn't be losing to the Patriots.
Yeah, also too, like they only had one of their star weapons, so they got rid of Joe Mixon. He's gone. Right, T. Higgins didn't play. All right, he was injured. You have no tight end, like who? Tanner Hudson, I think, is their tight end. He's a non-factor.
But I thought Joe Burrow was the man.
That's the thing.
I thought Joe Burrow was the second coming of Tom Brady, better than Patrick Mahomes, better than Lamar Jackson. He can be out there just throwing touchdowns, and you don't need an offensive line.
I always thought he was like the third or fourth best QB in the league. My top two haven't changed. They haven't changed.
I don't even think he's that. I think it's weapons around him that made him better.
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's what happens.
But when you don't have those weapons,
exactly.
Like the thing, like the argument I always get into with people that talk about Big Ben. Well, he had weapons. Yeah, but when he didn't have weapons, he was still putting up numbers. When he had weapons, he was doing crazy. Like when he had Antonio Brown, he was throwing 6 touchdowns in games. But when he didn't have Antonio Brown, he was still throwing 3 touchdowns and throwing for 300 yards. When he had Le'Veon Bell, he was throwing 5,000 yards a year. But when he didn't have them, he was still throwing for 3,000 yards. So when you don't have those weapons, what is Joe Burrow going to do? And he puts up 194.
Yeah,
not even 194, 164. My apologies, I read that wrong.
You gave him 30 yards.
I gave him 30 yards.
You gave him it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for him. And that's why, okay, so like there's Patrick Mahomes. There's Patrick Mahomes by himself. Right? And then there's Lamar Jackson. I still think Lamar Jackson, I believe 1 and 2 is a slight gap. Not a big gap, but a slight gap. 2 and 3, there's still a slight gap. I think Josh Allen is way better than Joe. It's not looking good, man. It's just not good. Like he's still living off of I beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Something no one else could say. Other
than Tom Brady.
But homeboy, that was last time, big dog. This is the NFL. What have you done lately? And you've done nothing. Yes, he's been injured. He hurt his wrist. He hurt his foot. Yes, that is true. This is a bad game. Everyone's allowed to have a bad game. But it was a bad game. He had a couple bad games last year, too. So it's becoming a pattern. He needs to cut it. I'm not gonna give up on him yet because I'm still a big fan of Joe Burrow. I'm not gonna give up on him yet, but you need to figure it out, dog. You ain't got that much time
Another
because
legend said Chase played today. Well, yeah, I mean,
played today too. And he still couldn't do nothing. All like
what did
that's why I
Chase
think
have?
great QBs. You give them one weapon and they'll go off. The year Tom Brady went off, that year they went undefeated, he had Randy Moss, and that was it. All he needed was Randy Moss. Randy Moss had 27 receiving touchdowns.
That was a prime Randy Moss where you could just throw the
Prime.
ball up.
Yeah.
Two defenders beyond him, and he just
Snatches it,
you
just
know.
snatches it from the air.
Davon says, I need Ferris's Giants reaction as well. I will check in later. I know he was on LBHT earlier today, but if Ferris, you want to give your reaction, why don't you go ahead and get, if you would like.
I'm not shocked. I am disappointed. I expected our offense to suck. We're moving on to Giants content. I expected our offense to suck. I expected them to suck. Them sucking didn't surprise me. I wasn't surprised. My biggest surprise was our defense didn't show up. This alleged defensive line that got better this offseason did nothing. Did nothing. I think they had like what, 2 sacks? I think. Let me double check. I think I'm giving them a sack. Give me a minute. I think I'm giving them a sack. I think they had 1 sack.
Let's look it up. And real quick,
Uh,
if you are new here, please hit that follow button. Appreciate you. That subscribe button. Like the video. Make sure to share it. And if you'd like to donate, there is a link right there. I will actually need to plug that link in to chat, and you can donate. Everything goes back to just the stream and making it more content for you guys.
Well, Suge, guess what, Suge? They had 0 sacks. I gave them a sack.
So you imagine some sacks.
I imagined 2 sacks. So they didn't have a single sack. There was no pressure. Sam Darnold, Suge, this guy that people are not big fans of. They don't think he's very good. He was perfect. The first 12 passes, he was 12 for 12. He was 12 for 12. Sam Darnold was 12 for 12. Apparently, this new revamped defensive line that couldn't get a pressure, he was 12 for 12. He did throw an interception. It was a great interception by Darius Muasua. Muasua, my bad. From UCLA, the rookie.
You know I'm horrible with names.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll find out how to say his name in a bit. My assessment on Malik Neighbors is incomplete. Incomplete. The when he threw the ball to Malik snatched the ball out of the air. He didn't wait for the ball. He went out and got the ball. And I was like, whoa, this is a little different. There was one play where he jumps up, Suge, and he skies out of the air. He catches it in the first window. You know how the first window is in front of your face. Second window is, at your face. And then the third window is behind you, right? He caught it right in the first window, just snatches it out of the air. I am high on this kid, but we don't know if he's going to be really that good because the quarterback can't get him the ball because his feet are always jittery. He's never standing in the pocket, slinging it. He's moving left and right. He's like, oh, well, I got to run around like a chicken with his head cut off. I don't know, Jay. I don't know. We don't know yet.
I think Jay's in his feelings right now.
Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see after this year. I'll tell you if you won or I won, because this defense was pure putrid. Putrid. The DBs, what the hell were they doing? There was one pass interference call that I didn't think was a pass interference call. But it was one call. But overall, man, it was just bad. Overall, Cordell Flott, he's in coverage, right? But then he bites. So then Jalen Naylor just runs behind him and he scores a touchdown. And I'm like, what are you biting on? There was nothing there for you to bite. Get depth. You have your man. I was confused.
This barn burner of a game, Raiders versus Chargers, 7-9. Wow, I thought our game was, you know,
Well,
that's a barn burner. What's up, Jeremy
well,
Miller? How are you doing today? Happy Sunday. Says
Pittsburgh
hopefully we'll finish the Brown. If all the NFC AFC North teams lose and Pittsburgh's in number one, I'm happy. I mean, it's early in the season, but it'd be great all of them to lose. That'd be fantastic, Jeremy.
Hey
You
guys,
get the point and laugh.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. At least their team got a sack and it was $30 million cheaper. And they scored more than 6 points, Carolina. They may have been blown out 40-17, but they scored 17. So
It's rough.
yeah.
That's
The
rough.
defense, there was no fire from the defense at all. Like,
Was this at home?
This was at home, Suge. Game 1 of our centennial season.
Against
the 100th year
Sam
of
Darnold.
against Sam Darnold, and the Giants were like, "Nah, we're cool. We don't care."
That's upsetting. That's
There was
frustrating. I'm saying.
literally, bro. That I thought we were. I thought if we won because our defense showed up and they didn't score that many points. That's why I guess 17-14 or 14-10. That's what I wanted, because I didn't think we were gonna go in like a shootout, because I expected our offense to suck. I got what I expected from the offense. I was more mad at our defense. Was like, what is this? And then Shane Bowen, like, he's just unimpressive. I wasn't impressed in Tennessee. I wasn't impressed here. Wink Martindale was shoved out because of ego. His ego. People forget it was his ego, that got him fired, because he thinks he should have more power. I was like, but homeboy, you're not the head coach. That's not how this works. If you want power, become a head coach. But the problem is, he was already 60, and in the NFL, they weren't going to hire a 60-year-old coach. It just wasn't going to happen. That's why he's now the defensive coordinator at Michigan.
Shout out to Coach from Sip to Tally. Remember when I kept calling him Ship to Tally? Ship to Tally. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I couldn't say. I don't know why I couldn't say Sip. Sip to Tally.
Update of our favorite sport. Indiana's now up by 2 with a minute left in overtime.
Yes, I see that with 103 left. It's a good game. Make sure to check out Coach's channel. He does live reaction to the games. I wanted to do a live reaction to the game, but I woke up and I was just tired, and it's hot in my house because our AC went out. So I was like, I don't even want to do this. This is why I'm wearing a tank top right now, because I have no AC in the house, and it's 103 in California. So he does live reactions. Great stuff. He does trivia during the live reactions. He answers your questions. He
like
puts it all out there, and he doesn't. Well, you know what I like about Coach? Honestly, he doesn't give you the fake stuff. He tells you like it is. If he sees his team is playing bad, he gives it to you. He gives it straight. He don't bullshit. I love his stuff. Ravens Roundtable is going to be tomorrow. If you are a Ravens fan, make sure to check that out. It's going to be some heavy talking tomorrow. They're all going to come with it. So check out his channel. It's a great channel, and Coach is a great person. Appreciate him. He's Buccaneers are beating the Commanders. No shock there. And then we got the Rams and
Chargers just scored.
Chargers scored touchdown.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins, former Baltimore Raven.
Okay. Now I know Coach is here, and I don't want to dog on the Ravens because everyone wants to have dog on the Ravens.
You're about to dog on the Ravens, aren't you?
But first, give you a fair assessment of what they did to Derrick Henry. They bring this man in, and hey, this is gonna, we're gonna run them on, the wheels till they fall off. They didn't run them at all.
No. The problem is they were predictable, right? When Derrick Henry was in the game, it was a run play more time than often, right? So the defense picked up on that. Then when Justice Hill was in the game, they passed it more than they ran it. So if you're doing that with a defensive coordinator like Steve Spagnuolo, 3-time Super Bowl champion defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, Cowboys just got a punt return touchdown. By the way, shout out to Kevontae Turpin. Yeah. So this is Steve punt return touchdown. By the way, this is Steve Spagnuolo we're talking about, not like some rando defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? We're not talking about like Rob Chazinski when he was an offensive coordinator. Like that,
Disrespect to
just
Rob Jasinski. But I'm saying, Ferris, if you bring in Derrick Henry, at some point you look at the defense and say, "Yo, we know what we're gonna do. Can you stop it?" They didn't even try that.
That's the thing, because Lamar ended up having 122 yards rushing, 20 carries, basically. But the thing is, it's easier for Lamar to get yards because sometimes it's off a scramble. So like they're in pass pro, right? They're in like pass like defense, right? So like they, it's a cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. They're or man. It depends on what they do. When you're running the ball with Derrick Henry, everyone's in the box running downhill, so it's harder to run with the running back that way than Lamar Jackson scrambling and finding some space. Of course, it's going to be easier because Lamar is a magician. He finds a crease, he gets it, and it's amazing. And like, let's say they run man and everyone's running man, and he finds a crease and he goes forward. It happens, but it just became predictable. Like when Henry was in the game, stack the box, put 8 in there, and yeah, I get the stop us, but guess what? They stopped you. They stopped you. They packed it in, and they went after Derrick Henry, and it got predictable. Justice Hill came out. You didn't have to stack the box because you're like, oh, they're probably gonna pass it here because Derrick Henry's on the game, and you created a tendency, with some of your packages. You passed more with Justice Hill. You ran more with Derrick Henry. You got to mix it up. You got to keep the defense on their toes. You got to make them overthink. That's the thing.
Well, I'm gonna leave the Baltimore Raven talk to Ravens Roundtable tomorrow, and on Tuesday when I have a
I
still
could be completely wrong, and Coach may say, Ferris, you're an idiot. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I'm like, you know what, Coach? I'll defer to you because you actually coached this game. So, but that's what I saw from the Thursday night game.
And I agree with you. I think we're going to defer to them. But let's talk about your
not
just
them, Coach.
Oh, so not Hendo and not Brodney?
No. Hell no.
And not Jose?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So I'll make sure. All right. So we're going to talk about let's get into next week for both of our teams. You have the Washington Commanders in Washington. How do you feel about this game? And
we're gonna win.
Just give us a little sample size of what you think is gonna happen.
We're gonna win. Because here's the thing, Suge. There's 3 things in my life that are guaranteed. Death. Well, 4 things: death, taxes, me feeling down on myself on occasion, and the New York Giants beating the Washington Commanders. The one thing Daniel Jones can do is beat Washington. The one thing he can do. He always beats Washington. He's lost to Washington once, Suge. Only once in his career. Once. This horrible quarterback that no one thinks is good has always beats Washington once. You know what I mean? Pause. What did I say? Pause what? What did I say?
Can you give me a score prediction for next week, Ferris, for your Giants?
24-14 New York.
All right.
Because it's Washington, bro. The one thing Daniel Jones knows how to do is beat Washington. No matter the quarterback. Taylor Heineke, Kyle Allen, whatever. He always beats Washington, bro. He always beats Washington. It doesn't matter.
All right. And for us, the Steelers, we got the Broncos next week. Shout out to Adelia. It's an afternoon game. Interesting. We got the Broncos. This is going to be a tough game because the Broncos right now, I believe, are winning. No, they're losing to the Seahawks.
Oh, feeling down on myself. Oh, yeah, that's true. And, sometimes, it's a crisis of confidence, my guy. But, but I always come back. I always come back stronger.
Bo Nix is going to be starting. He has 1 interception. You know what? I feel like this is going to be a good game for us because TJ Watt is just going to be able to get after a young quarterback, make him make mistakes, and we're going to rely on our defense. Now, the question is, if Fields is starting, how much more do you open up the playbook, and can Harris get the ball running? Because that's what needs to happen. and how much do you throw the ball? Again, Pickens had a good game, decent game, no touchdowns, but we can't just keep kicking field goals. When we get to a team like Kansas City, which we have to see later this year, team like the Cowboys, we're not going to be able to just kick field goals. I know our defense is good. We're not going to be able to do that against those teams. We're going to have to score points. So how does Arthur Smith make open up the playbook for Fields and enables him to score touchdowns is the big question. Um, we will be doing our picks. I got to go back and tally up the score for next week. Colin's going to start wrestling, let him burn the perm. Yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens. I don't know exactly what is going to happen with
Indiana wins 104-100.
Yep, on a very close game. I don't know what's going to really happen with this quarterback thing because Fields played good today, not great, but he was a game manager. Does that what the Steelers need, or can Russell do something and score touchdowns? Because that's the big thing is we need to score touchdowns. So who can do that? So we're gonna see what happens. See what happens with him and his injuries. But I think our game plan is we're relying on our defense, on TJ Watt, on Alex Highsmith, on Mika Fitzpatrick, on Joey Porter Jr., on PQ, not DQ, PQ, and making plays for us and getting us the ball and on good field position and winning games that way. I think that's going to be our recipe to win games this year until one of our quarterbacks really gets in the rhythm and is able to take this offense and lead this offense. So before we get out of here, Ferris, anything you want to comment on? Anything surprise you? We didn't talk about the Cardinals, but they had a decent game against the Bills.
Why would we talk about the Cardinals?
Just there's maybe fans out there. You never know.
Yeah, no, we don't care.
Who'd you pick in the Rams, Lions, and Jets 49ers?
I'm going Lions, Niners.
Okay.
Today I found out that the Cardinals are the second. Well, technically they're tied with they're one of the oldest teams in the NFL ever.
They never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, they are.
Shout out to.
They are 105, just like the Chicago Bears.
Oh damn!
And at
Shout
one
out
point,
to Larry Fitzgerald.
And at one point, I believe that them and Chicago shared a city. So yeah,
you're a historian. I love every time you come up with some new stuff.
Well, actually, the Cardinals were in like three different like cities. I think they were in Cleveland, I believe, and then they went to Chicago. Then they went to St. Louis, and then they went to Arizona, right? Yeah, I want to double check it here. I want to double check it. So right, yeah. So they were chartered members of the franchise. They were in Cleveland and then St. Louis, and then they moved to Arizona. I think they were in Chicago. They were in Chicago. I knew it. So Chicago, and then they went to St. Louis, and then they went to Arizona. So they've been in three different cities. Who was in Cleveland though? Someone was in Cleveland.
The Doo-Doo Browns?
No. It was with the Browns. Someone was in Cleveland with the Browns because the Browns weren't a part of the NFL yet. They were a part of the AAFL. They were in the other football league, the NFL. Then there's the other one. So Cleveland had an NFL team, but they moved him. NFL teams in Cleveland. History. I wanted to make sure, man. I want to make sure. The Rams. It was the Cleveland Rams. So the Rams were in Cleveland before they moved to
Was it LA first or was it St. Louis first?
No. Yeah. So they were in Cleveland, then they moved to LA, then they moved to St. Louis, then they moved back to LA. So yeah, the Cleveland Rams, and then they moved to LA in 46, and then they moved to St. Louis in 94, and then they moved back to LA. So yeah. So the Cleveland Rams, I knew it was another team. It wasn't just the Browns. So yeah, there's been a lot of teams. They're the only teams that are still in the same cities that they were in. Well, most of them are. Chicago's still in Chicago. New York is still in New York. Green Bay still in Green Bay. The original members of the NFL, like the original members, um, the Cardinals have moved around. They went Chicago, St. Louis, Arizona. Yeah.
Right there. History lesson from Ferris Mutana. Make sure to,
They actually have
get
two.
them
They
on.
actually have they actually have two NFL championships. The Cardinals do. But
And nobody was
but
alive for those, right?
no, but because apparently, you can't count NFL championships prior to the Super Bowl because only Super Bowls matter. So yeah,
Oh, because they're not Super Bowls.
they're not super, I guess. Shout to
Depends what you want
Chief.
to argue. Do you want to
Yeah.
do you want to argue championships, Super
Well,
Bowls?
like if we do argue championships, like Philadelphia has like I think 8 NFL championships.
I think
Philadelphia.
I think the problem is what's the when we talk about especially like football, what do we say? They won the championship,
Yeah.
but really it's they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because if we're talking championships, then that changes the conversation. But because we automatically go to championships
They have 3,
when
my
we
bad.
think of the Super Bowl,
3 NFL
we think of,
championships
when we
Philadelphia
think of
has.
the Super Bowl, we say championships, but we should really be correcting ourselves and saying Super Bowl. They won
Yeah.
Super Bowls.
Well, yeah, because the NFL and the AFL merged in 1970. So that was the day the NFL and the AFL became one, right? It was in 1970, right? Because they kind of used the first Super Bowl as like a testing ground of like, do you like both
Yeah.
both leagues? And the biggest Super Bowl, Shug, in history was Super Bowl 3 when the Chiefs won it because Green Bay won the first two and showed that we told you the AFL ain't that good. We're better. Told you guys we're better. Then the third one happened. Scratch that. The third one was the Jets. The Jets. So the Jets won Super Bowl 3. That was the biggest Super Bowl, not the Chiefs. Chiefs won Super Bowl 4. So the Jets win Super Bowl 3. They beat the Colts, who were 14-1. They were the best team in the league. Earl Morrow was MVP. The Colts were cooking. And the Jets, Joe Namath was like, we're going to win. I guarantee it. And the Jets win. So then the AFL was like, hey, look, we can win too. And then I believe the Colts won Super Bowl 4. Then Kansas City won Super Bowl 5. So it showed that it was competitive. Super Bowl 4 was won by the Chiefs. My bad. Super Bowl 4 was won by the Chiefs. The Colts won Super Bowl 5. Super Bowl 4, so Suge, you had 2 NFL, 2 AFL, split between the first 4. Showed you that they were even leagues, right? They were even leagues. He's Googling, by the way. I know he is. Just want to point that out. The man's a Googler. But yeah, so Kansas City won 4.
Definitely a Googler.
So it was NFL, NFL, AFL, AFL, and then boom, we merge because we showed you that we're both evenly matched, and bam. Fun fact, actually, the Raiders didn't want to merge. They
They left them
Al
out.
the Al Davis wanted to end the NFL. He wanted to
Of course he
beat
did.
them. He wanted to beat them, and apparently Lamar Hunt was like, "No, we're gonna merge," and that's where the rivalry started between Kansas City and the Raiders. Started off of a personal petty beef between two dudes. Yeah, I also know my history too, so you can zip it up your lip. Because I corrected myself instantaneously. Go back under your rock.
Ferris, let the people know where they can find you and all your great content.
Find me on Let's Get Ready Network, the highlights channel every Friday, 3 o'clock Pacific. By the way, Cleveland just scored. Where we talk NFC East. Me and Caleb talk Giants, Cowboys. One of us is not happy. The other of us could be happy if if Cleveland wins. What Oh my God, you clearly see Suge. You see Suge in my glasses. That's all you see right here, bro. Oh my God, I hate this man. I hate this man so much, bro. You see Suge in my glasses. It's nothing else, bro. It's just Suge in my bro. I hate this, bro. You know what, man? Screw this, bro. Cut the show, bro. Cut the show. Cut the show. Cut the show, bro.
You gotta let people know where to find you first.
I already did, man. Let's get ready to network the highlights, bro.
Kevin said Casey won Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know. I corrected
If it
myself.
wasn't just they were the first
He's,
AFC.
he-
Yep.
he's a
Hit,
little behind. He was a little behind.
hit dogs holler. All right, and you can find me on Tuesdays, Still Conspiracy, here on this channel. I will be doing live reaction right after Steeler games. And you can find my co-hosts. We're on the top right here now. We're gonna get the background fixed too, but the RougPod and LBHT Brondy's show and the RougPod Hendo show. Make sure to follow them and give them a like and shout out to them. I don't think Hendo doesn't have no, that's never mind. That's TikTok. I thought it was Twitch. Make sure to follow.
It's all right.
Make sure to
Connect.
follow.
All right, my brother. Sorry about that. You know, my homies out here riling me up. My bad. I didn't mean to yell at you. Is it Connect? Is it Connect 28?
Yeah, I know him as Kevin, but yeah,
Oh, sorry, Kevin.
is the guy I grew up with. It is hot in California. Kevin, you are in California. You know how damn hot it is right now. I ain't wearing no damn suit until
Just
like
saying.
December.
I'm just
Okay.
saying, man.
But check out Ferris's channel. He was doing a live play-by-play. It was awesome. He did a really good job. That's Ferris's calling. He wants to be a play-by-play announcer. So one day when he's on calling the Cowboys games, it would be just funny as hell to hear him go off. So shout out to Ferris. Check them out on LGR Network and LGR The Highlights, their sports channel on YouTube. Doing a great job over there. Make sure to follow the guys up top. Make sure to follow this channel, share it, send it out to people. Appreciate it. Really appreciate everybody hanging out. Again, I will be doing right after the games live reaction to the Steelers game, and hopefully have some more other people coming in. I support my friends, unlike some. Yep. If you're calling for the Cowboys, he went off all the time. Exactly. I think that's Ferris' dream job is to call for the Cowboys. Even though he's a Giants fan, it would be great to call for the Cowboys.
Oh no, because 9 times out of 10, the Cowboys game is the one that's on national TV. So I'll be the national TV guy.
Let me ask you a question, Ferris. Real quick. Thoughts on Kendrick Lamar being the halftime show?
I like it. I'm a big fan of it. Personally, I would have wanted a New Orleans themed halftime show, but I'm not hating on it because like when they were in LA, they brought out Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, and then it was kind of like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and friends, right?
And Kendrick.
Yeah.
We're all from
Oh, yeah.
LA, and then the rest of them were from Detroit, New York.
Yeah,
I don't. Where's Mary J? Where's Mary J. Blige from?
I think she's from New York. I think. Let me double check.
Okay.
I am Googling this. I am admitting that I am Googling this. I don't know where Mary J. Blige is from. Where the hell is that? Yeah, she's from New York City.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
by way of Georgia, I guess.
Kendrick is what's hot right now. Absolutely, he's what's hot.
Yeah, she's also from Georgia as well. And then she like came back to New York. So,
yeah, I think a little people are disappointed because they thought it was going to be like Lil Wayne.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But I'm assuming they're going to appear because I don't. Well,
they have to, bro.
I don't. You know what? No, because there is a little bit of beef between Lil Wayne and Kendrick because of the Drake thing.
Yeah.
So, but you could get Megan
to
show
Houston.
up.
She's from Houston.
But I thought she's from New Orleans.
No, she's from.
Why
Houston.
are people? So why are people calling for her to be in New Orleans then?
I don't know, but she's from Houston.
Okay. Well, then I don't know. I don't know who you get from New Orleans.
Well, Juvenile.
Really? We're gonna go back to 1990.
Hey man, the greatest love song, baby. The greatest love song. Bite that ass up. You know what it is.
Lil Wayne, Hurricane.
Is it
Hurricane Chris or or Hurricane and Chris Brown.
Bro, man, hey man, nah, bro, bring out, Hot Boys, bring out BG, bring out Manny Fresh. You know what I mean? No Limit Soldiers, bring out Master
No,
P.
no, look,
You got
Master
a
P,
bunch.
Master P would be dope. Master P would be dope.
You got a bunch, baby. It's New Orleans, man. You got a bunch. You don't have to bring out Birdman. That's fine.
No Limit Soldiers coming out with Mystical.
Make him say, you know what it is.
Yeah,
Sorry,
remember when Snoop was part of No Limit Soldiers?
Yeah, for a minute, yeah.
That was one of my favorite CDs that he did.
Yeah.
Shout out to Master P.
She said, "Wow,
shout out
first.
to
What
Matt.
did I say? What did I say? I say
You did something wrong. Did you cuss again?
No, I didn't. I may have said back that ass up, but you know what I mean. But that's the song title. That's the song title. I have to give the right information, Yolanda. It's the right information. He calls it the greatest love song. If you guys watched his Tiny Desk concert, he brought out the orchestra. He sang that song. Yeah, he did.
It is a slow song.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Enjoy the rest of our day. Finish watching this Cowboys game. Watch the Sunday night game.
But I didn't want a copyright strike.
Yeah, don't start. Please don't do that. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Appreciate you stopping by. Take care.